Hey everyone, I'm Brian. Our brand new Indie Select has just arrived. And before you pick up this extra special coffee, I want to show you how to brew it at home. All right, so to brew this coffee, what you'll need is a pour over device. Really, any pour over device will work. I really like the Origami or the V60 brewer, and that's what I'm going to be using today. So you'll need that. You'll also need the coffee itself, of course. You'll be using 15 grams of this coffee. I've already ground mine, but you'll grind it at a kind of a very fine filter grind. If you're using a burr grinder at home, like the Baratza Encore, for example, on the Encore, I would grind this about a 7 or an 8. But yeah, a very fine filter grind. And then you'll also just need a gooseneck kettle with some hot water, a way to, boil that water, of course. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just gonna pre-wet my filter here before I get started brewing. Kind of get all of that filter wet. This will preheat my Origami brewer here as well as the carafe that I'm brewing into, just so that the coffee doesn't cool down or anything. All right. And then I've got that 15 grams of coffee. I'm just gonna shake it a bit, kind of level out that bed of coffee. And tare my scale so it's at 0 so I can start measuring my water. We'll be using, at the end of the day, 210 grams of water. And you want water that, for this recipe, water that's fresh off the boil. If you're having, just a kettle like this. If you've got an electric kettle, set it at 210 and that'll be great. But yeah, water fresh off the boil so it's consistent. Yeah, we're ready to go. So to start, as I put water onto my coffee, I'm gonna start my timer. You're gonna, in a slow circular motion, add 45 grams of water and give it a slight swirl for a minute. Now all this water will be saturating all those grinds evenly and preparing them, to take in the later water and extract all that good flavor, that fruity flavor from this coffee. We'll actually be having a very long bloom, actually 1.5 minutes. We'll let this coffee just sit and degas and prepare to extract all that flavor. Yeah, this coffee is very, very fruity, but it also has this dry, fermenty, almost hoppy-like aroma to it. When you grind your coffee, make sure to give it a smell and just experience all of that fermenty aroma that is there. We say it has a note of tropical IPA, and that is very true, especially in this bloom phase. You can really smell all those hoppy-like aromas. All right, so I'm approaching 1.5 minutes here. At 1.5 minutes, I'm gonna continue adding water. I'm gonna add 75 grams of water there, bringing us up to 120 grams total. And as I'm pouring, I'm just pouring in a gentle, slow motion and circulating around the coffee bed at a consistent rate. I'm gonna give it a little swirl here. And this swirl at this point is just to make sure all that coffee has kind of settled down into the bottom of the brewer evenly and has a flat bed. At 2 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and add another 30 grams of water at that same slow pouring rate. And then we're gonna wait. We'll be adding, after this 30 grams, another 30 grams after about 30 seconds. So at 2 minutes, 30 seconds, we'll be adding that other 30 grams. All right, so that brought us up to 180 grams total. Then here after another 30 seconds at 3 minutes, we'll add our last 30 grams, bringing us to 210. This is a very small brew ratio. For every 1 gram of coffee, 14 grams of water. And I really felt like that brew ratio brought out the really dense, fruity, tropical flavors of this coffee. All right. And there we are, 210 grams of water. And we'll wait for this, the water to filter down here. We're looking for about a 3.5 minute brew time. All right, so all of our water has dripped through at our goal brew time. Go ahead and just discard that not needed coffee filter. Let's go ahead and just serve it up. That's good. Oh, it's so fruity, but it's so dry and fermenty, like I've said. But it does have just that, oh man, almost that sparkling sweetness that we say sangria. It has that very like tart sweetness to it as well. And that's how to brew the Trogon Winey processed at home. You can grab a bag of it at either of our cafe locations or on our website. I hope you enjoy it at home.